Hello and welcome to SCN Corporate Connect. I'm Jane King at the Nasdaq market site in Times Square. With me today, Terry Shiraishi, the Chief Communications Officer at Patron, and also David Cohen, an advisor to Patron as well. So welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
So I was telling Terry earlier that just the world has changed so much in 10 years. This company wouldn't have even existed in 2008 probably, but yeah, so it's really interesting how you've seized upon this opportunity. Give me a little bit of a background of what Patron is and what it does.
Yes, Patron is, I talked like in our session, it's a decentralized open source peer-to-peer platform for influencers.
Okay.
It's for the influencers market.
Okay, now you mentioned decentralized platform, a lot of tech involved in this, and David, that's where you come in, right? You're kind of a tech advisor to Patron?
Sure.
Okay, so tell me about your background.
So I spent 25 years in the decentralized software space. I built a multi-agent platform to do distributed control systems for the smart grid, but also in different areas. And so for the past couple of years, I've been looking at all the different blockchain technologies. I was part of the IOTA Foundation.
Okay.
Formerly, I'm now advisor to Hashgraph, which is doing a highly scalable, really fast transaction speed blockchain technology that's being used by some of the biggest credit unions in the world. And blockchain to me represents the idea of having to be peer-to-peer, distributed, allow a lot of people to interact with each other without really centralized systems to manage. And so it's when you look at media and look at things like with the influencer market, it allows individuals to connect and build businesses around their own individual brands and then connect with the world. So whether or not it's music or anything that you're good at, you can be an influencer. So it really kind of opens up, it democratizes a lot of things for people.
It's actually really fascinating what's going on and the potential of it, and it fits perfectly with Patron and what they're trying to do with social media, the blockchain does.
Yes, especially like when the users are like taking parts as like playing role of each of the users and communicating each other. It takes a certain certain level of speed for the transaction.
Okay.
And we need. That's why we needed the technique called Hashgraph. Hashgraph accelerates the speed of transaction, and he is the master of Hashgraph here.
Okay.
There are founders of Hashgraph that are really brilliant individuals, and they brought me on as an advisor. So I'm helping try to figure out how to use technology that's used in financial transaction management to now bring it to things like if you look at influencer or decentralized media. So their biggest issue with the current blockchains is that if you want to do a transaction, it takes 10 minutes, and that can be a really long time. So if you're operating with millions of people on the internet, and you just want to be able to have a single record of something that is a validated transaction, you can do it with things like Hashgraph at much higher speed. And so that's why it becomes very relevant to lots of different industries, healthcare, gaming, even in media.
Now, you've also worked with a lot of ICOs, and you're also helping them as they go through this whole initial coin offering process. So talk to me about that. Like, how does that industry look right now?
So really interesting, because I have stopped using, and I predict that this year the term ICO is no longer going to be used.
Okay, interesting.
Initial and offering is a flag for we're doing an IPO, and really what I call it is a token generation event. I think others have called it that. So it's really about, the token economy is really about taking a unique use for something like a token and proving that you have to have the token in order to participate in that particular business. And so the ICO concept is, I would say, let's start calling it the token generation event, because the main thing people are doing right now is they're saying, okay, the SEC wants to make sure that if you're issuing a token, is it a security or not? I think a lot of companies are going to decide that it's a security and just go that route, but that's really not too much of a problem, because you can just file it as a 506c Reg D offering.
Okay.
Which I believe is what Patron is doing.
Yes.
And where are you in the process of the token generation? Might as well get used to saying that, right?
Yes, yeah. We are at the pre-sales at the moment.
Okay.
And we're going to have a main token generation sales from March 27th
Okay.
till April 26th.
Okay. And
And
you're
we have raised the 50 mil
Okay.
so far.
and securitized.
Yes, yeah, we'll be securitized, and we are obtaining the D506 at the moment, and it'll be like today or tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're making the tour of North America for
Yes.
part of your fundraising capital raise.
Yes.
Okay.
With the accredited founders, accredited buyers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for coming. Very interesting to hear about the technology and also Patron as well. So thank you, Terry. Thank you,
Thank you
David,
very much.
Thank
for
you.
coming, walking us through this whole process.
Can
we
we
appreciate
come
it.
back?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
thanks.
Yes.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too. So, and thank you as well for joining us on SCN Corporate Connect. I'm Jane King at the Nasdaq market site. Have a great day.